Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everyone on the live this morning. We are here again. Another morning and another reading. We are here this morning. We are going to finish the reading of the book of First Kings. We are reading chapters 18 through to 22, and that's going to end the reading of this book. Now, for those of you who are just coming into the live, I want to say welcome. Thank you all so much for coming. I sincerely appreciate each and every one of you who have come in to listen to the morning's reading. And if you're wondering what we do here, each morning we gather here and we read the Bible. Now, we are no theologians. We are not endorsing any particular religion or any particular denomination. We are only reading the Bible for our own benefit because I believe it is imperative that we know what is in the Bible. Because after all our lives, we have been told what is in the Bible. But how many of us have taken the time out to actually read the Bible for ourselves? Well, you know the answer to that. You know, not many people have ever taken the time out to read the Bible for themselves because, after all, they say, well, I go to church and um, this is what my pastor says, and this is what my preacher says, and therefore, whatever the pastor says, and the priest and the preacher, whoever, you take that as gospel. But if you actually read the Bible for yourself, you might find that you have probably more questions than answers. So I suggest that everybody reads the Bible for themselves because the Bible is influential on every single aspect of our lives. If it is money, the Bible has an influence on it. If it is religion, if it is marriage, no matter what it is, because many of the laws of the land have a biblical foundation. That's so important, by the way. So this morning we are going to be reading from the book of First Kings, chapter 18 through to 22. If you all were with me yesterday, you would have learned that back in when after Solomon had died, his son Rehoboam took over the kingdom of Jerusalem, and he and Jeroboam, who Solomon had vanquished out of Jerusalem, and he was living in Egypt, but he had come back to ask Rehoboam for forgiveness, to lighten the punishment that his father Solomon had put on him. But instead of doing that, Rehoboam increased the punishment. And so God essentially told the prophet Ahijah to tell Rehoboam was going to come back and he was going to be. So the people, that came to pass, and the people, they sort of swore in Jeroboam as his own king. So now the kingdom of Jerusalem became divided because remember, when Solomon was king, the entire region of people hailed Solomon as the king. Now, when Solomon went to sleep with his fathers, as the Bible says it, when he talks about somebody who has died and his son Rehoboam took over, things were not the same because Rehoboam, he was not going along with the old teaching. In fact, he wasn't consulting with the elders, and they thought that was very irreverent and very disrespectful. Rather, he was going with the younger ideas of the young people, and that was not well with the people. And so they appointed Jeroboam as their king, and a mighty following went after Jeroboam, and just a few people from the tribe of Judah stayed and followed Rehoboam. And we saw how that division in Israel led to differences in ideas, new ideas coming in to 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 sort of infiltrate the older ideas, and as the Bible calls it, corrupt the older ideas. So they talk about how one area had a lot of sodomy and how displeased God was that there was all this sodomy being allowed, and he referred to the king as being wicked for allowing it. So we're reading the Bible ourselves, and we are going to continue the reading. We are going to continue the reading, and we do this here practically every single morning, and we will continue doing so until we have read the entire Bible. Okay, so let us move on. If you are with me, get your book Bible or your Google Bible, and let's read along. Let us begin. 1 Kings chapter 18. And it came to pass, after many days, that the word of the Lord came to Elijah in the 3rd year, saying, Go, shew thyself unto Ahab, and I will send rain upon the earth. Okay, for those of you who were here yesterday, remember Elijah was the one who got the vision. He had to go to the river and he had to drink. That's what the vision said he should do. Go to this brook. The brook will provide water. There was a drought, so he had to go to this brook, drink the water from the brook, and stay there. And the birds would bring him food day in and day out. And that happened until the brook dried up. And then he was instructed to go someplace else where he was going to meet a woman who is a widow. And when he got there, he should stay with the woman and she should take care of him. Well, he went, he saw the woman, he asked the woman to let him stay with her. She allowed him to stay in his attic. In her attic, she allowed him to stay in her attic. He asked her to make him a meal. She said, well, I only got a little bit of flour and a little bit of oil. I'm going to make something for me and my son. And after that, we have nothing else. So we will die after that because we have nothing else to eat. And he said to her, if you make the bread for me first, then your bread basket, your bread barrel will never be empty after that. So she made him the bread first with a little bit of flour she had. And then she made for herself and her son. And every day she went to the barrel after that, there was flour there enough. And she went to her oil cruise and there was enough oil every single day. Then her son got sick. And her son was on the brink of death, if not already dead. And she called out to Elijah to help to save her son. And he took the son up into the attic where he was staying, and he prayed over the son and he laid on the son 3 times. And eventually the son came back to life. And that brought so much joy to the woman. Now we are going to continue to read what happened after that between this woman and Elijah. Chapter 18. And it came to pass after many days that the word of the Lord came to Elijah in the third year, saying, Go, shew thyself unto Ahab, and I will send rain upon the earth. And Elijah went to shew himself unto Ahab, and there was a sore famine in Samaria. And Ahab called Obadiah, which was the governor of his house. Now Obadiah feared the Lord greatly. For it was so, when Jezebel cut off the prophets of the Lord, that Obadiah took 100 prophets, and hid them by 50 in a cave, and fed them with bread and water. And Ahab said unto Obadiah, Go into the land, unto all fountains of water, and unto all brooks. Peradventure we may find grass to save the horses and mules alive, that we lose not all the beasts. So they divided the land between them to pass throughout it. Ahab went one by himself, and Obadiah went another way by himself. And as Obadiah was in the way, behold, Elijah met him. So Elijah met Obadiah. Welcome into the live, guys. If you're just coming in, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget to hit the like button, share out the live stream, invite your friends and friends to come on over. Let us continue. And as Obadiah was in the way, behold, Elijah met him, and he knew him, and fell on his face, and said, Art thou that my Lord Elijah? And he answered him, I am. Go, tell thy Lord, behold, Elijah is here. And he said, What have I sinned, that thou wouldest deliver thy servant into the hand of Ahab to slay me? As the Lord thy God liveth, there is no nation or kingdom whither my Lord hath not sent to seek thee. And when they said, He is not there, he took an oath of the kingdom and the nation that they found thee there. So in fact, they had been looking for Elijah, but remember, Elijah had gone to Samaria. So they have been looking for him. Verse 11. And now thou sayest, Go, tell thy Lord, behold, Elijah is here. And I want you all to know that when they say, Go tell my Lord, that is the earthly, the ruler. You know, they call the king my Lord. Okay. Excuse me. Verse 12. And it came to pass. And it came to pass, as soon as I am gone from thee, that the Spirit of the Lord shall carry thee whither I know not. And so when I come and tell Ahab, and he cannot find thee, he shall slay me. But I, thy servant, fear the Lord from my youth. So, as was pointed out earlier in the reading, when the Bible speaks of the Lord as in the omnipotent Lord above, it used a capital L. But whenever it spoke of a Lord as in a governor, a king, an earthly ruler, it uses a common L. So, as we have been reading the Bible, we have been coming across the capital L and the common L. And it was pointed out, I think, by the well-read card, that this is what it means. Because I was always like, is it the Lord? Why the Lord? And for some reason, I hadn't even noticed that it was like that until she pointed it out. Thanks to her. I tell you, I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't met that woman. Kudos to you, Card. You are the best. Moffat is in the... Moffat, me say. Moffat, how you doing? How are you doing, Moffat? How are you doing? Trevor only can catch a piece, my friend. You are really great at reading, and this is love. Thank you so much, my dear. I'm so glad at least one person is accepting and appreciative of my efforts here. I appreciate you, Moffat. I appreciate you, my love. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I know say, I know me no buy the book yet, Moffat. I know me no go buy the book yet, you know. So many things on Trev's mind, but me not forget. Every time I see you, me remember. Every time I see you, Moffat, me remember. So one day when me see you, I mean, I mean, hold on there. Come did I run your way there, yeah, you know. Hold on there, Moffat. You know, say, I saw me have to do, you know, when me see my loved ones, them coming on my life, that is the good time to me, that is the good time to me find them and give them a run while me I read this another device running with them. And because that's the best me can do, honestly. Mixing with the Muppets. See, that's all right. Just oh, let me see what me not. Well, let me see your Muppet. You're not gonna away, I'm a friend. You're not gonna know way. Let me see your playlist. Let me see shorts. Hold on, let me not run that yet. Let me see. All right, me run that already. All right, which one me have to run here now? All right, me I go run the charts them first. Let me run your charts playlist first. Cause the other one them let me run them already. All right, yes, me have to, you know, so me have to spread the love in my fat. When me see my friends and my loved ones coming at the chat when me live, that's a good time. You know, me just rock some up on a device and you know keep the love going, keep the love flowing. Yeah, that me have to do. All right, so make we continue. Joseph, how are you doing, my love? Good to see you. Joseph, good morning. Joseph, I got me bed with you last night. I'm gonna wake up with you this morning. Ain't that a good thing? Why you wake me up so early? I'm not ready to get up yet. Joseph, where you get it? Yeah, you know. I know I am a good person from the heart. I mean, that's all I know to do. I was raised that way. If you meet my mother, you say a whole different thing. I will never change. You sure you say a good somebody raised me. A good somebody raised me. Trust me. And I thank you, my darling. I thank you. I thank you so much. All right. So Joseph, it no matter, I know. It no matter. We go to bed together, we wake up together. Isn't that what lovers do? That sounds good, not true? I can't the Bible. I can't the Bible. No, I read. I can't the Bible. No, I read. Oh my God. But anyway, let us continue. For those of you who are just coming, get your book. The book party are mixed up, you know. The book party are real much mixed up, you know. Get your book Bible or your Google Bible and let us continue with the reading. No, the Papa, nice, you know. All right, all right. Let us let us continue. What kind of soup? This is a soup that looks so good, brother. Oh wow. All right, let us continue. Because if me keep my eyes on Moffat, me no read another word in the Bible right now. Let me see. Now we are on to verse 15 of First Kings chapter 18. And Elijah said, as the Lord of hosts liveth, before whom I stand, I will surely shew myself unto him today. Yes, exactly, Joe. Exactly, because we go out to bed together at 12 o'clock, I wake up together at 6 o'clock. 6 hours is a long time. All right, let us continue the reading. Welcome, guys. Welcome into the live. If you are just coming, we are doing the morning's reading of the Bible. Get your book Bible or your Google Bible, whichever one you have, and join us. Let us read together. We are currently on the book of First Kings, chapter 18. All right, let's read from verse 11 again. And now thou sayest, Go, tell thy Lord, and this Lord is a common L, meaning the Lord, meaning the governor. Behold, Elijah is here. And it shall come to pass, as soon as I am gone from thee, that the Spirit of the Lord shall carry thee whither I know not. And so when I come and tell Ahab, and he cannot find thee, he shall slay me. But I, thy servant, fear the Lord from my youth. Verse 13. Was it not told my Lord what I did when Jezebel slew the prophets of the Lord? How I hid 100 men of the Lord's prophets by 50 in a cave and fed them with bread and water? And now thou sayest, Go, tell thy Lord, behold, Elijah is here, and he shall slay me. And when he said, Go tell that Lord, that's the Lord with a common L. And Elijah said, As the Lord of hosts liveth, before whom I stand, I will surely show myself unto him today. So Obadiah went to meet Ahab and told him, and Ahab went to meet Elijah. And it came to pass, when Ahab saw Elijah, that Ahab said unto him, Art thou he that troubleth Israel? So this is Ahab talking to Elijah, saying, Are you the one who is a problem for Israel? Are you? Let's hear what Elijah's answer is. And he answered, I have not troubled Israel, but thou and thy father's house, in that they have forsaken the commandments of the Lord, and thou hast followed Baalim. Now, Baalim was a false god, a god the people were worshiping, an idol god that they had made and were worshiping. So here Elijah is saying to him, I have not troubled Israel, and I have not troubled you or your household. You all have troubled yourselves by going to go pray to Baalim. You all are the problem, not me. Let's continue. Verse 19. Now therefore send and gather to me all Israel unto Mount Carmel, and the prophets of Baal 450, and the prophets of the groves 400, which eat at Jezebel's table. So Ahab sent unto all the children of Israel, and gathered the prophets together unto Mount Carmel. You all remember when we were reading in the earlier chapters, you all remember Abigail? Abigail was Nabal's wife. You all remember that the area of Carmel was owned and controlled by Nabal. And when David, after Nabal died and David took Abigail, that place was taken over by David. So now, this is the same place, Carmel, that the Israelites still own. Okay, let us continue. I want us to be able to remember the places and make the connections with the people. How comes mixing of other people's stuff? Mixing your ramp Profi, why you have other people stuff in your thing? Are you me I give watch hours, when you have other people's stuff in there, me skip over them. Especially if, yeah, that are just me. If me see it, because them them are usually people with millions and millions of subscribers and followers and all. But anywho, let us continue. Verse 20. So Ahab sent unto all the children of Israel and gathered the prophets together unto Mount Carmel. And Elijah came unto all the people and said, how long halt ye between two opinions? If the Lord be God, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word. Yes, God. Me know say God did so many. Yes, Nabal the Carmelite. Yes, same place. Yes, same place, Sister Kat. How you doing? Good morning, my darling. How are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you as always. Here to support me and keep me in check and help me with whatever I don't remember. I sincerely appreciate it. Okay. So here, so here, Elijah is saying to the people, "Uno listen, uno just so wishy-washy. Uno go back and forth, back and forth. No, what no doing. If uno consider the Lord as in capital Lord to be the Lord, then follow him. If uno consider Baal to be uno Lord, then follow him. But uno keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, like tormented puppies. Okay? So that's what he says unto the people. Then said Elijah unto the people, I, even I only, remain a prophet of the Lord, but Baal's prophets are 450 men. Let them therefore give us 2 bullocks, and let them choose 1 bullock for themselves, and cut it in pieces, and lay it on wood, and put on fire under, and I will dress the other bullock, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under. And call ye on the name of your gods, and I will call on the name of the Lord, and the God that answers by fire. Let him be God. And all the people answered and said, it is well spoken. And Elijah said unto the prophets of Baal, choose you 1 bullock for yourselves, and dress it first, for ye are many, and call on the name of your gods, but put no fire under it. So here, Elijah is sort of asking these people to make a comparison. Let's see which God is the real and true God. So your God, there are 450 prophets of you who are serving your God Baal. There is just me serving my God, the one above. Make us see which one of the gods is more powerful. We are going to put, you're going to get 1 bull, I get 1 bull. You're going to put your bull, dress it up, dress it up, slaughter it, dress it up, and then put no fire under it. Verse 25 said, and Elijah said unto the prophet of Baal, unto the prophets of Baal, choose you 1 bullock for yourselves and dress it first, for ye are many, and call on the name of your God, but put no fire under the bullock. And they took the bullock which was given to them, and they dressed it, and called on the name of Baal from morning until noon, saying, O Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, nor any that answered. And they leaped upon the altar which was made. And it came to pass at noon that Elijah mocked them and said, Cry aloud, for he is a God talking, or he is pursuing, or peradventure he is sleeping and must be awoken. Till noon, you are all calling on your God Baal. What is he doing? Is he sleeping? Is he on a journey? What is he doing? Why hasn't he answered to your prayers? Verse 28. And they cried aloud and cut themselves after their manner with knives and lancets till the blood gushed out upon them. And it came to pass when midday was past, and they prophesied until the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice, that there was neither voice, nor any answer, nor any that regarded. So I know their God Baal hasn't answered their prayers. And Elijah said unto all the people, Come near unto me. And all the people came near unto him, and he repaired the altar of the Lord that was broken down. So the people them jump up on the altar and carry on, cut up themselves and everything, because their God Baal would not answer to them. So then cut up themselves and carry on. Cut up themselves and carry on because their God wouldn't answer to them. Now it's Elijah's turn to prove whether or not his God is the living God. Verse 31. And Elijah took 12 stones, according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Jacob, unto whom the word of the Lord came, saying, Israel shall be thy name. And with the stones he built an altar in the name of the Lord. And he made a trench about the altar, as great as would contain 2 measures of seed. And he put the wood in order, and cut the bullock in pieces, and laid him on the wood, and said, Fill 4 barrels with water, and pour it on the burnt sacrifice and on the wood. And he said, hold on, the people, okay. And he said, Do it the second time. And they did it the second time. And he said, Do it the third time. And they did it the third time. And the water ran round about the altar, and he filled the trench also with water. And it came to pass at the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice that Elijah the prophet came near and said, Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, let it be known this day that thou art God in Israel, and that I am thy servant, and that I have done all these things in thy word. At thy word, I should have said. Hear me, O Lord, Hear me, that this people may know that thou art the Lord God, and that thou hast turned their heart back again. Then the fire of the Lord fell and consumed the burnt sacrifice, and the wood, and the stones, and the dust, and licked up the water that was in the trench. Verse 39. And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces, and they said, the Lord, that is L-O-R-D, capital L, is He is the God, capital G, the Lord, He is the God. And Elijah said unto them, take the prophets of Baal, let not one of them escape. And they took them, and Elijah brought them down to the brook Kishon and slew them there. OMG. So Elijah has slain all these all these prophets that were serving Baal. These prophets were these prophets were Baal's prophets, all 450 of them. Because why you think Baal slew them? Because these people, these prophets of Baal, why I think Elijah slew them? Because these prophets of Baal were preaching and recruiting people to come serve Baal. So as soon as the people were serving the God of Israel, then these prophets would be recruiting, just like how you see people, Jehovah Witness people walk around, or other people recruit people for other reasons and into other organizations. That's how they were recruiting people, because that was essentially their job. Come everybody, come serve Baal. Baal is the true God. Come on, everywhere they went, they would bring people. Come. This is the true God. Let's serve him. So they were recruiting all these people. And so Elijah says, listen, man, what's wrong with you people? You, who are you all serving? You know wishy-washy. This minute you're not serving Baal, this minute you're not serving the true and living God. What is it you need for the true and living God to prove to you all that He is the true and living God, so you all can stop this back and forth thing? And he came up with this the bullock thing, where he says, you get one bullock, I get one. You dress your bullock, you put it down, you wait for fire to come under your bullock. Call on your God and see if He will put fire under your bullock to cook it. And the prophets, they call on Baal, they called on Baal all day from morning till noon. When Baal wouldn't show up, nothing was happening. They started cutting themselves. They cut themselves. They jumped on the altar. They did all kinds of things. At around noontime, Elijah started to mock them. He said, look at you, eh? Running around, jumping around, and looking for your God. Where your God is, eh? Is your God sleeping? Is your God awake? Is your God on a journey? Where is your God, eh? He ain't show up yet. Watch this. This is how my God works. And so he built that altar and did what he did to show them. Uh oh, uh oh, uh oh. Hold on, the people. Hold on there. Okay. Hold on there, people. Let me do this. All of this. All of all of these shorts finish. Wait, the Moffat first come in this morning, so Moffat getting the runs today. Alright, let me see Moffat I want sitting as a cooking video. Let me see. Hold on the people. I just gotta take care of my people. Never hear your mother say. Your mother ever tell us you take care of the banana and the banana take care of you? Yeah. I gotta take care of my people, take care of my people, and my people take care of me. It's as simple as that. Yeah. All right. So that's Moffat running this. I want to make this a jerk chicken. All right. Let us continue. Verse 41. And Elijah said unto Ahab, Get thee up, eat and drink, for there is a sound of abundance of rain. So Ahab went up to eat and to drink, and Elijah went up to the top of Carmel, and he cast himself down upon the earth and put his face between his knees, and said to his servant, Go up now, look towards the sea. And he went up and looked and said, There is nothing. And he said, Go again 7 times. 7 times. And it came to pass at the seventh time that he said, Behold, there arises a little cloud out of the sea, like a man's hand. And he said, Go up, say unto Ahab, Prepare thy chariot, and get thee down, that the rain stop thee not. And it came to pass in the meanwhile that the heaven was black with clouds and wind, and there was a great rain. And Ahab rode and went to Jezreel. Verse 46. So this is the last verse of chapter 18. And the hand of the Lord was on Elijah, and he girded up his loins and ran before Ahab to the entrance of Jezreel. All right, so here ends the reading of chapter 18 in the book of First Kings. I hope you all are enjoying the reading and finding it quite informative as much as I am enjoying reading it for us. Okay, now here we see in chapter 18 where Elijah has proven to the people that his God is the living God and Baal is actually a false God. All right, let us move on to chapter 19. Chapter 19 of the book of First Kings. And Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, and withal how he had slain all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger unto Elijah, saying, Go, let the gods do to so let the gods do to me, and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. Hmm? Let's read that again. And Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, and withal how he had slain all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger unto Elijah, saying, So let the gods do to me, and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. And when he saw that, he arose and went for his life, and came to Beersheba, which belonged to Judah, and left his servant there. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness, and came and sat down under a juniper tree. And he requested for himself that he might die, and said, It is enough now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers. And as he lay and slept under the juniper tree, behold, then an angel touched him, and said unto him, Arise and eat. And he looked, and behold, there was a cake baken on the coals, and a cruse of water at his head. And he did eat and drink, and laid him down again. And the angel of the Lord came again the second time, and touched him. And said, Arise and eat, because the journey is too great for thee. And he arose, and did eat and drink, and went in the strength of that meat 40 days and 40 nights unto Horeb, the mount of God. Verse 9. And he came thither unto a cave, and lodged there. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him, and he said unto him, What are you doing here, Elijah? And he said, I have been very jealous for the Lord God of hosts, for the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thine altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away. And he said, Go forth, and stand upon the mount before the Lord. And behold, the Lord passed by, and a great and strong wind rented the mountains, and brake in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, a still small voice. And it was so, when Elijah heard it, that he wrapped his face in his mantle, and went out, and stood in the entering in of the cave. And behold, there came a voice unto him, and said, What are you doing here, Elijah? And he said, I have been very jealous of the Lord God of hosts, because the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thine altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it. And the Lord said unto him, Go, return on thy way to the wilderness of Damascus. And when you come, anoint Hazael to be king over Syria. Okay, so here Elijah has been given instructions to go to Damascus and anoint Hazael to be the king over Syria. Okay. And Jehu, this is verse 16 now. And Jehu, the son of Nimshi, or Nimshi, shalt thou anoint to be king over Israel. And Elisha, this now is Elisha with the SHA, the son of Shaphat of Abel Nohola, shalt thou anoint to be prophet in thy room. And it shall come to pass that him that escaped the sword of Hazael shall Jehu slay, and him that escaped from the sword of Jehu shall Elijah slay. So you can't escape. If if they are coming after you and Hazael miss you, then Jehu shall slay you. And if you slip out of the grasp of Jehu, then Elisha shall slay you. Wow. Yet I have left me 7 7,000 in Israel, all the knees which have not bowed unto Baal, and every month, every mouth which had not kissed him. Oh my, so only 7,000 people, only 7,000 people of all the people in Israel, 7,000 of them did not bow to Baal and did not kiss him. Because remember, the people were going up to the prophet, to Baal, their God, worshiping him, kissing his forehead, and showing reverence to him. And now the Lord is saying to Elijah, he has removed everybody out of Israel. Only 7,000 people are left because those 7,000 people did not bow down to Baal. Verse 19. So he departed thence and found Elisha, the son of Shaphat, who was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen before him, and he with the 12. And Elijah passed by him and cast his mantle upon him, and he left the oxen and ran after Elijah and said, Let me, I pray thee, kiss my father and my mother, and then I will follow thee. And he said unto him, Go back again, for what have I done to thee? Verse 21. And this is the last verse of chapter 19 of the book of First Kings. And he returned back from him and took a yoke of oxen and slew him and boiled their flesh with the instruments of the oxen and gave unto the people, and they did eat. Then he arose and went after Elijah and ministered unto him. This is the end of the reading of First Kings chapter 19. I hope you all have been following in your book Bible or your Google Bible. Andrea is here. Blessed Sunday morning to you, Andrea. How are you doing? How are you doing, my love? So good to see you. Hold on a minute, look for me. Look for me in the book here. So, welcome, Andrea. Hope you're having a blessed Sunday morning, my darling. It's an absolute pleasure to see you on this blessed Sunday morning. Every morning that we wake up is a great, great day. Every morning we wake up, it's a great, great day. Because many went to bed last night and didn't wake up. Okay? His mercies and His grace in a mansion. Y'all know that song there? You just feel like to sing it. It just coming on my head. It coming on my head, so me I go sing it. It came in my head, guys. Yeah, that's as spontaneous as I get, you know. Yeah, so me I go sing it. Sing the wondrous love of Jesus. Sing His mercies and His grace in the mansions bright and blessed. He'll prepare for us a place when we all get to heaven. What a day of rejoicing that will be when we all see Jesus. We will sing and shout the victory. I don't know why that song came in my head. Of all the songs to come in my head this morning, Why did that one come in my head? I don't know. I don't know. But I just sing it. No particular reason. It come in my head and I sing it. While we walk the pilgrim's pathway, clouds will overspread the sky. But when traveling days are over, not a shadow, not a sign. Okay, guys. That I think that song is one of my mom's favorite songs. She always sings that song, and I guess that's why it pops in my head. And as I open her email, that's the email she gave me that will stay with me for the rest of my life. That's why I mean, I don't know, that's why that song just popped in my head, and I just paying homage to my mom. I sing that song. All right, let us continue. Let us continue with the reading, gentle people. Welcome into the live. Thank you all so much for coming in. I sincerely, sincerely appreciate you all. We are going to continue the reading of the book of First Kings. We are going to be reading from chapter 20. So get your book Bible or your Google Bible and come along with us. And let us read it together. All right. Chapter 20. And Benadad, the king of Syria. Okay, so Benadad is at this time the king of Syria. But remember, the Lord told Elijah that he should go and he said that he should appoint Azael. He should appoint somebody named Azael to be the king of Syria. So I guess that Benadad is the current king, and Elijah is going over there now. He's going to appoint this Azael person to be the king over Syria. Let us see. Let us continue reading and find out what happens here. And Benadad, the king of Syria, gathered all his host together, and there were 32 kings with him. 32 kings with Benadad, and horses and chariots. And he went up and besieged Samaria and warred against it. So I guess that he conquered Samaria. He was not appointed. He conquered Samaria and appointed himself king, but he was not appointed by a prophet from the Lord. And he sent messengers to Ahab, king of Israel, into the city, and said unto them, Thus saith Benadad, Thy silver and thy gold is mine, thy wives also and thy children, even the goodliest are mine. And the king of Israel answered and said, My lord, O king, according to thy saying, I am thine, and all that I have. And the messengers came again and said, Thus speaketh Benadad, saying, Although I have sent unto thee, saying, Thou shalt deliver me thy silver and thy gold, and thy wives and thy children, yet I will send my servants unto thee tomorrow about this time, and they shall search thy house, and the houses of your servants, and it shall be that whatsoever is pleasant in thine eyes, they shall put it in their hand and take it away. Verse 7. Then the king of Israel called all the elders of the land and said, Mark, I pray you, and see how this man seeks mischief. For he sent unto me for my wives and for my children, and for my silver, and for my gold. And I denied him not. And all the elders and all the people said unto him, hearken not unto him, nor consent. Wherefore he said unto the messengers of Benadad, Benadad has some audacity. So Benadad has taken over Samaria, him and his men. They have taken over, him and his 32 kings, they have taken over Samaria. And now they have said to the king of Israel to say, send me all of your gold and send me all of your silver and send me all of your wives and send me all of your children. I'm going to send my servants to come in and whatever they find to be good, anything that pleases their eyes that you have, they are going to take it and bring it to me. What a piece of audaciousness. Verse 9. Before he said unto the messengers of Benadad, tell my lord the king all that thou didst send for to thy servants at the first I will do, but this thing I may not do. And the messengers departed and brought him word again. And Benadad sent unto him and said, the gods do so unto me, and more also, if the dust of Samaria shall suffice for handfuls for all the people that follow me. And the king of Israel answered, because remember by this time, the kingdom in Israel, in Jerusalem, is reduced. It is reduced because the people, the masses of people had gone to go follow Baal, to go serve Baal. Only 7,000 people were left in Israel, in Jerusalem. Only 7,000, because they were the 7,000 who refused to consider Baal to be the true and living God. There were the 7,000 who never bowed down to him, who never kissed him. And now, here is this Benadad, who has appointed himself king of Samaria, sending to the king of Israel to say, send me all of your riches. And he said, don't you see, all the people follow me. It's like the sand of the earth, like the dust on the ground. That's how the number of people follow me. So, he's, touting himself as a big bad man. He is powerful because he got all these people behind him. Verse 11. And the king of Israel answered and said, tell him, let not him that girdeth on his harness boast himself as he that putteth it off. All right. So let not you that you are girded, you are all armored up. But don't come boast in front of me. Don't come boast in front of me, because I am the one who will destroy you. Not because you're big, mighty, and powerful. That doesn't mean that you can conquer me. All right. Remember David and Goliath? All right. Let us continue. And it came to pass, when Benadad heard this message, as he was drinking, he and the kings in the pavilions, that he said unto his servants, set yourselves in array. That means he said, line up on yourself, prepare on yourself. And they set themselves in array against the city. And behold, there came a prophet unto Ahab, king of Israel, saying, thus saith the Lord, hast thou seen all this great multitude? Behold, I will deliver it into thine hand this day, and thou shalt know that I am God. And Ahab said, by whom? And he said, thus saith the Lord, even by the young men of the princes of the provinces. Then he said, who shall order the battle? And he answered, you. Then he numbered the young men of the princes and of the provinces, and they were 232. And after them he numbered all the people, even all the children of Israel, being 7,000. So there were 7,000 people, and there was only 232 young men. 30, that number of young men can't fight the army that is coming against them. It can't. Verse 16. And they went out at noon, but Benadad was drinking himself drunk in the pavilions, he and the kings, the 32 kings that helped him. And the young men of the princes of the provinces went out first. And Benadad sent out, and they told him, saying, there are men come out of Samaria. And he said, whether they be come out for peace, take them alive, or whether they be come out for war, take them alive. Verse 19. So these young men of the princes of the provinces came out of the city, and the army which followed them, and they slew every one his man, and the Syrians fled, and Israel pursued them. And Benadad the king of Syria escaped on a horse with the horsemen. And the king of Israel went out and smote the horses and chariots, and slew the Syrians with a great slaughter. So, just like guys, remember something like this had happened. Remember in when we were reading about David and Goliath. I remember when we were reading about Jonathan and the Philistines. Remember how the people were God sent to Jonathan, how are you going to go up against all these people? You alone cannot go up. Remember when he was going to scout out the Philistines, and there were the 20 guards, there were the 20 Philistine guards, and the armor bearers were the armor bearer was saying to Jonathan, Jonathan, you can't go up there. There's 20 of them. There's only one of you. You can't do that. And Jonathan said, it's not the number that matters. It is whether or not God be on your side. So even if it's 100 of them and it's me alone, if God is on my side, I will be able to defeat them. And he went up with that in his heart, and he was able to slay him alone, to slay the 20 Philistine guards. And it's the same with David. Let us continue. So here, the people of Israel, the Israeli king had sent out his 200 and his 230 men, the young men, that's all he had. And he sent them out to go war with the Samaritans, and and they were successful. They were able to slay all these people, all these soldiers, and even the king Benadad had to run back. Even he had to run back. And remember, he was pushing up his chest, and saying that he's big and bad, and he's gonna see how many people following him. And now he has to be running for his life. Let us continue. Verse 21. And the king of Israel went out and smote the horses and chariots, and slew the Syrians with a great slaughter. And the prophet came to the king of Israel and said unto him, go, strengthen thyself, and mark, and see what thou doest. For at the return of the year, the king of Syria will come up against you. And the servants of the king of Syria said unto him, their gods are gods of the hills, therefore they were stronger than we. But let us fight against them in the plain, and surely we shall be stronger than they. And do this thing: take the kings away, every man out of his place, and put captains in their rooms, and number thee an army, like the army that thou hast lost, horse for horse, and chariot for chariot, and we will fight against them in the plain. And surely we shall be stronger than they. And he hearkened unto their voice, and did so. And it came to pass at the return of the year that Benadad numbered the Syrians, and went up to Aphek to fight against Israel. This Benadad is really determined, you know. He is really determined. Let's see. And the children of Israel were numbered, and were all present, and went against them. And the children of Israel two pitched before them like two little flocks of kids. But the Syrians filled the country. I like how the Bible described that. Because remember, the children of Israel were now, outnumbered. There were so few, just 7,000 of them. So the Bible describes it as, now here the Syrians are coming out to fight the children of Israel. And the children of Israel, in comparison to the number of Syrians, they look like a two little flock of children, two little flock of birds. Like, their numbers were so tiny, they just look like some little kids in the front of the Syrians. As compared to the Syrians, they were just so few of them. Let's continue. Verse 28. And there came a man of God, and spake unto the king of Israel, and said, Thus said the Lord, because the Syrians have said, The Lord is God of the hills, but he is not God of the valley. Therefore will I deliver all this great multitude into thine hand, and ye shall know that I am God. You know that song there? He's God of the valley. I'm not sure I remember it, but there's a song like that. That he's God of the hills and God of the valleys. Here it says, the Lord God of the hills, but he is not God of the valley. So the Israelites are, you know, comforting themselves that their God is a God of the hills and not of the valley. And since they are upon the hill, they believe that their God is with them and they will be successful or victorious. Verse 29. And they pitched one over against the other 7 days. And it was so that in the seventh day the battle was joined, and the children of Israel slew of the Syrians 100,000 footmen in one day. Wow. The children of Israel slew 100,000 Syrians in one day. You can imagine us 100,000 people. Woo! But the rest fled to Aphek into the city, and there a wall fell upon 27,000 of the men that were left. Wow! And Benadad fled and came into the city into an inner chamber. So Benadad fled, went into a chamber to go hide. And the servant said unto him, Behold, now we have heard that the kings of the house of Israel are merciful. Let us, I pray thee, put sackcloth on our loins and ropes upon our heads, and go out to the king of Israel. Peradventure, he will save your life. So they girded sackcloth on their loins and put ropes on their heads, and came to the king of Israel and said, Thy servant Benadad said, I pray thee, let me live. And he said, Is he still alive? He is my brother. Ah, now the men did diligently observe whether anything would come from him, and did hastily catch it. And they said, Thy brother Benadad. Then he said, Go ye, bring him. Then Benadad came forth to him, and he caused him to come up into the chariot. And Benadad said unto him, The cities which my father took from thy father, I will restore, and thou shalt make street before thee in Damascus, as my father made in Samaria. Then said Ahab, I will send thee away with this covenant. So he made a covenant with him and sent him away. So here, Benadad, big bad Benadad, has been humbled. He has been humbled. So each time he has gone up against the Israelites, he has failed. Each time he has gone up against them, he has failed. And even with all the bragging and with all the men, he has made fun of the Israelites. And look at them, they're just so few. You think they can manage us? Look at us. We are all the country. There's so many of us. And look at them, just like a little drop in a bucket. The number of them. They cannot defeat us. But when they went up to war, this time the Israelis were ready for them. And they defeated them, taking out 100,000 of them in one day. So the others got scared and ran away. And even their leader, Benadad, he went to hide. And then the people said to him, his people said to him, Listen, you come in here, so come hide. If Ahab ever, if I want name Ahab, I want to make sure. If Ahab ever catch you, he surely shall destroy you. And so they said to him, Listen, we are going to go over there into Jerusalem, and we are going to talk to him for you. We will tell him that you want to talk to him. And so he said, okay. And his servants, they went over, tied up themselves with sackcloth, put rope on their heads, and went over to see the king of Israel, to talk to him about their leader, Benadad, to beg him to spare Benadad's life. And I was surprised that he told them to bring Benadad. We are going to continue reading. Just let us see what the conversation between Ahab and Benadad is going to be like. We are going to read verse 29 again. And they pitched one over against the other 7 days. And so it was that in the 7th day the battle was joined, and the children of Israel slew of the Syrians 100,000 in one day. But the rest fled to Aphek into the city, and there a wall fell on 27,000 of the men that were left. And Benadad fled and came into the city, into an inner chamber. And the servants said unto him, Behold, we have heard that the kings of the house of Israel are merciful kings. Let us, I pray thee, put sackcloth on our loins and ropes upon our heads, and go out to the king of Israel. Peradventure he will save our life. So they girded sackcloth on their loins and put ropes on their heads, and came to the king of Israel and said, Thy servant Benadad says, I pray thee, let me live. And he said, Is he still alive? He is my brother. Now the men did diligently observe whether anything would come from him, and did hastily catch it. And they said, Thy brother Benadad. Then he said, Go he, bring him. Then Benadad came forth to him, and he caused him to come up into the chariot. And Benadad said unto him, The cities which my father took away from thy father, I will restore, and thou shalt make streets for thee in Damascus, as my father made in Syria. Then said Ahab, I will send thee away with this covenant. So he made a covenant with him and sent him away. You not hear me? How comes you not hear me? Me not know. Me not understand. Me not understand. Cause me should not spend time a read down and not hear me. Verse 35. And a certain man of the sons of the prophets said unto his neighbor in the word of the Lord, Smite me, I pray thee. And the man refused to smite him. Better now? Oh, my mind tell me maybe the fan are blowing the voice. Maybe that's what's happening. So I have to put the fan further and put this. Maybe that will be better. Is that better now? No, no, say the morning me hot and the morning cold. Let me write you nothing like this. Me hot and the morning cold. Okay, I'm glad that it's better. Let us continue. Verse 20, verse 25, 35, I mean. And a certain man of the sons of the prophets said unto his neighbor in the word of the Lord, Smite me, I pray thee. And the man refused to smite him. Then said he unto him, Because thou hast not obeyed the voice of the Lord, behold, as soon as thou art departed from me, a lion shall slay thee. And as soon as he came departed from him, a lion found him and slew him. Boy, there was a lot of lions in those days, just roaming around. Just roaming around because the lions were just slaying everybody. It could be predicted that lions were going to slay people. Then he found another man and said, Smite me, I pray thee. And the man smote him, so that in smiting he wounded him. So the prophet departed and waited for the king by the way, and disguised himself with ashes upon his face. And as the king passed by, he cried unto the king, and he said, Thy servant went out into the midst of the battle, and behold, a man turned aside and brought a man unto me, and said, Keep this man. If by any means he be missing, then shall thy life be for his life, or else thou shalt pay a talent of silver. Welcome in live, guys. Thank you all so much for coming. I sincerely appreciate you. What up, Mr. Dessa Green? Love Ice. Love Ice, how are you doing, my love? How are you doing, my darling? Lord of mercy. Love Ice. Love Ice. I appreciate you. I thank you so much for that super chat. Me telling you guys, me telling you all the time, love is something, if you give it away, it comes right back to you. Love is something. Me tell you, if you can't give enough love, so there are people you're not gonna like. There are people that you maybe your spirit not take them for one reason or the other. But let no man bring you down so low that you hate him. That you hate him to the point where your soul is in jeopardy. In jeopardy. Love is something if you give it away. Me telling you over and over. So when in a 2020 round or so, yeah, we just pay YouTube look mine. We just appeal combined to YouTube. Love Ice was one of the first people. Was one of the first people that my eye catch on YouTube. And almost every morning, morning. But I did I watch Love Ice, see Love Ice. And I remember, Love Ice, when you chat your business online, so we can chat it too. So, and I remember just them time me never there for YouTube show up myself because them tell me kind of afraid, saying no people and you know how it is, you get the jitters the first time you are coming out on YouTube, coming public and everybody seeing you and being able to identify your face and your voice. And I was a little bit scared of that. And Mr. Love Ice used to watch Love Ice every morning. And one morning me hear Love Ice and say, you see me little phone here, sir? I broke up my phone, my phone not even work. Me not even did have my phone. Come on, people, who don't help me get one of the phone now. That we can. That we can continue bringing on the content. Help me now. And I thought it was cute and it was funny because I never hear nobody on YouTube before say, being so raw, so open. I said, see my phone mash up, couldn't help me with the phone now. And that was the first time I realized that people could have sent super chat. That people could have sent super chat. I may hit the little something and boom. And from there, me the other Love Ice still PP clock. Understand me? From there, the love started. I Love Ice, I want you to know I love and appreciate you, my dear. Every time. And I thank you so much for that super chat. Thank you so much. And if ever you need me, I'll be here, my love. I'll be here. What happened to the sound? Me don't know what happened to the sound why YouTube are ramp with me this morning, this blessed Sunday morning. YouTube want me to sing one hymn to them, You understand? Me don't know why. Are you hearing me any better? Yeah, the Love Doctor. This is Love Doctor. Well, same person. Do you see Love Ice? Listen, I the same smarty. Love Ice easy, Me have to try to remember Love Ice, Love Doctor. What the next channel name again? Hold on, let me look on the phone here. So. Let me look on the phone here. So what the next one name? What your name again, Love Ice? Come in more Love Ice, me know Love Doctor. No. Love. Oh, Queen Ice TV. Yes, me know. Yes, Queen Ice TV. Yes, see that so. Yeah, love that. Me just make sure say me connected to all of them, That's alright. Me connected to Love Doctor TV. Me make sure say me connected to Queen Ice TV. Queen Ice TV. Pop up in so look like say me not connected about foot fire. Well, I let me look. Queen Ice TV. Are you that there? Well, let me look. Let me make sure so me see your picture. Yes, that is you. Well, yeah. Me didn't connect to that one day. And now that one day did miss me. Alright, so me connect there now. Alright, see me there. I made that. Remember party later, congrats. Yes, Andrea, party later, go shell down. Party later. Have a good one, Love Ice. Have a good one, my love. Be safe, my sister. I sincerely appreciate you. Yes, Andrea. The party I go shell down. The only problem is, so with YouTube, you can't like play music. You can't like play music and then something there. You have to just go on all your corners. Yeah, me just go on all your corners. Oh my lord. I've been on a rain of fall last night. But I'm gonna give me plans and my break for today. I don't know if I give them a break. Me say me go out there yesterday, say the rabbit them. If I saw the rabbit them name up me carrot them. The rabbit them name up me peas. The rabbit them name up the little shoots of beetroot. The rabbit them eat them up like what in the world? Aye, sir. But make we continue reading here, lovely people. Make we continue reading. Let us continue. We are on to First Kings chapter 20 and verse 39. Verse 38. So the prophet departed and waited for the king by the way, and disguised himself with ashes upon his face. And as the king passed by, he cried unto the king, and he said, Thy servant went out into the midst of the battle, and behold, a man turned aside and brought a man unto me, and said, Keep this man, if by any means he be missing, then shall thy life be for his life, or else thou shalt pay a talent of silver. Well, that's a good question. Me don't know where them come from, you know. Me don't know where them come from, but I know that so the place a bush. Must North Carolina, you know, a bush. So, um, like whenever I'm walking, like when I do my walks, I always see rabbits running across the streets, running in people's backyards. Rabbits are everywhere because it's like bush, and like at the back of the neighborhood there, it backs up to bushes. It's a bush, yeah. So it's just know that they are doing a lot of construction, new places being constructed. So the poor rabbits are sort of losing their habitat, just like the deer. The deer are losing their habitat too because this is our bush where deer roam night and day, and the deer go across the highway, because they cut the highway right through the deer habitat. So the deer continue to go across the street and just end up getting hit by cars. It's a bush. It's what to do. Verse 40. And as thy servant was busy here and there, he was gone. And the king of Israel said unto him, So shall thy judgment be. Thyself hast decided it. And he hasted and took the ashes away from his face. And the king of Israel discerned him that he was of the prophets. And he said unto him, Thus saith the Lord, because thou hast let go out of thy hand a man whom I appointed to utter destruction. Therefore, thy life shall go for his life, and thy people for his people. And the king of Israel went to his house heavy and displeased, and came to Samaria. That's the ending of chapter 20. For those of you who are just coming into the live, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for coming. We meet here, we gather here every morning. Every morning we gather here and read the Bible. We are reading book to book, chapter to chapter, so that we can understand what it says. And even if we don't understand what it says, we would have read it for ourselves. Okay? Let us continue. First Kings chapter 21. All right, so we have 21 and 22 left. And then that's going to be the end. That's going to be the end of the reading for this morning. First Kings chapter 21. And it came to pass after these things that Naboth the Jezreelite had a vineyard which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria. But wait, wasn't Ahab the king of Israel? I know Ahab was the king of Israel. So now that they are saying he's the king of Samaria, remember, I'm thinking, remember Benadad had said that he would give him back the lands that his fathers had taken from his father. Y'all remember that? So I guess Benadad has given back all of this land to Ahab, because all of this land, remember when Solomon was king, all of this land belonged to Israel. But with all the division that has come into the kingdom over the years, the land has dwindled because different kings, holy moly, muckles and ponies. How did this wind just suddenly come from? Wow, this sudden wind come and just blow down everything. Oh my. Anyway, so I am thinking that now Ahab is the king of Samaria because he has been, all this land had been returned to him by Benadab. Let us continue reading and see if my thoughts are correct. And it came to pass after these things that Naboth the Jezreelite had a vineyard which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab king of Samaria. And he had spake unto Naboth, saying, Give me your vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near my house, and I will give you for it a better vineyard than this. Or if it seem good to you, I will give you the worth of it in money. Okay, so here is Ahab. Ahab is the king. Naboth have his vineyard, and the vineyard is close to Ahab's house. So here now, the king is going to use his power and his influence and tell the man, Naboth, come on, give me this vineyard. If you don't want to give me the vineyard, sell me the vineyard. But the vineyard is close to my house, so I want it to plant. I want it to plant herbs. Yeah, you see, I saw people ready, Have a good day, love eyes. I saw people ready, And Naboth said to Ahab, The Lord forbid it of me, that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto you. And Ahab came into his house heavy and angry because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him. For he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my father. But the man writes, I'm inheritance. Why you want him to give it to you? Because you are king? No. And he laid him down upon his bed and turned away his face and would eat no bread. I saw people out there lose sleep when them see you get victorious, When them see you go on with yourself, I saw them out there, I saw them out there, not eat, not sleep. You understand? Not eat, not sleep. They worry about you instead of they go worry about themselves. So here, oh my God, Ahab is so angry that Naboth refused to give him his little inheritance. The man gone lay down and not eating. Verse 5. But Jezebel, his wife, came to him and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad, that you eat no bread? And he said unto her, Because I spoke to Naboth the Jezreelite, and said to him to give me the vineyard for money, or else, if he please him, I will give you another vineyard for it. And he said, I will not give you my vineyard. And Jezebel his wife said unto him, Dost thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thy heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name, and sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in the city, dwelling with Naboth. So, you see this? You see this? Now the land don't belong to you. Naboth have his land there, have his land there, and working is at a vineyard. That's what he inherited from his father. And you, because Benadab has given back the lands that he had captured, he has given them back to Israel. So now Ahab, he now has a palace over there in Samaria. Okay, he now has a palace over there. Now he wants Naboth to give him his land or sell him the land because the land is closed. And because the man says no, he's not giving him. He take it to heart and gone in a bed and not eat. Now here comes the real Jezebel. Here comes the real Jezebel, his wife. She is going to say, well, don't worry yourself. You are now the king over Syria. Anything you want, you shall have. So I'm going to write these letters, send them to the nobles to get Naboth to give you his land. And she wrote in the letters, verse 9, and she wrote in the letters saying, proclaim a fast and set Naboth on high among the people, and set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him to bear witness against him, saying, Thou didst blaspheme God and the king, and then carry him out and stone him that he may die. Mighty God of Daniel. And the men of the city, even the elders and the nobles, who were the inhabitants of the city, did as Jezebel had sent unto them, and as it was written in the letters which she had sent unto them. As some people kill people for their own things, They proclaimed a fast, and they set Naboth on high among the people. And there came in 2 men, children of Belial, and sat before him. And the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blaspheme God and the king. Then they carried him forth out of the city, and stoned him with stones, that he died. Then they sent to Jezebel, saying, Naboth is stoned, he is dead. Mighty God. And it came to pass, when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned and was dead, that Jezebel said to her husband Ahab, Arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give you for money, for Naboth is not alive, he is dead. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, that Ahab rose up to go down to the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite to take possession of it. My Lord, this is when a lion should come out. This is when a lion should come out and eat both Ahab and Jezebel. So you see, when somebody call you a Jezebel, when somebody call you a Jezebel, them really don't mean you're not good enough. Them really call you a wicked name enough. Because this is a wicked act. This is a wicked act she did right there. You see how bad mind and greed created murder for an innocent man, an honest man and his livelihood. Exactly, Andrea. And we see it happening then today. Even today we see it happening. People bad mind you for your little sitting. They want to kill you for the little nothing where you have. My God. And it came to pass when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, that Ahab rose up to go down to the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite to take possession of it. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, this now is Elijah the Tishbite, saying, arise, go down to meet Ahab, king of Israel, which is in Samaria. Behold, he is in the vineyard of Naboth, whither he is gone down to possess it. And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, thus saith the Lord, as thou killed and also taken possession, and thou shalt speak unto him, saying, thus saith the Lord, in the place where dogs licked the blood of Naboth, shall dogs lick thine own blood. Ah, boy. Ah, boy. When I hear that, the Lord said to Elijah, go on, and go look in the Naboth vineyard. You're going to find Ahab there. Tell Ahab that I say, in the same place where the dogs licked the blood of Ahab, is the same place they are going to lick your blood. And Ahab said to Elijah, hast thou found me, O mine enemy? And he answered, I have found thee, because thou hast told thyself to work evil in the sight of the Lord. Behold, I will bring evil upon thee, and will take away thy prosperity, thy posterity, and will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel, and will make thine house like the house of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat. Thou remember the house of Jeroboam? Jeroboam was wicked, and so was his sons, and they were all slain. Remember, the Lord had said to it, what was the guy's name again, God? I forget his name now. But remember, the Lord, the prophet Elihu had prophesied and told Jeroboam that all his men were going to die. Dogs were going to eat them in the street, and those that died in the fields, Jonker was going to eat them. And it came to pass. Karma, yes, Chris, yes, Andrea, karma it is. This is our wicked act. Verse 22, and will make thine house like the house of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha, the son of Ahijah, for the provocation wherewith thou hast provoked me to anger, and made Israel to sin. And of Jezebel also spake the Lord, saying, the dogs shall eat Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel. Yes, man, that would have anger anybody, because that was a wicked act. All things is priceless is here. Good morning, my love. Good morning, my darling. How are you doing? Hold on then. Why my iPad stop? It's been playing all night. Hold on, the people. It's been playing my lovely queen with me all night. Now it stopped. Why it stopped for? Why has it stopped? Oh, the last video. Okay. Well, let's find another playlist. That was 10 out of 10. Let me find another playlist from my baby girl. From my baby girl. Let me see. Motivational. Let's say L. Play. All right, there that is. Let me see what Muffata go on with over here. So now, so I have to spread the love. Let me see what Muffata go on with here. So let me shine the light. Muffat Ado C-Sec food practical display. C-Sec food practical display. All right. Aisha the king. Okay. Thank you for that, the prophet. Thank you for that card. Thank you very much, my love. All right, let us continue. Let's see what else is going to become of Ahab and his wicked wife Jezebel. Verse 20, verse 23. And of Jezebel also spake the Lord, saying, the dogs shall eat. Oh my. Verse 23. And of Jezebel also spake the Lord, saying, the dog shall eat Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel. Him that dieth of Ahab in the city, the dog shall eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat. But there was none like unto Ahab, which did sell himself to work wickedness in the sight of the Lord, whom Jezebel his wife stirred up. And he did very abominably in following idols, according to all things, as did the Amorites, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. Remember the Amorites, the Lord casted them out and said that they will not be welcomed into the tabernacle. Let us continue. But there was none like unto Ahab, which did sell himself to work wickedness in the sight of the Lord, whom Jezebel his wife stirred up. And he did very abominably in following idols, according to all things, as did the Amorites, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard these words, that he rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his flesh, and fasted, and lay in sackcloth, and went softly. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, seest thou how Ahab humbleth himself before me? He said, you see how Ahab humbled himself before me? Because he humbled himself before me, I will not bring the evil in his days, but in his son's days will I bring the evil upon his house. So you see when it say, the revenge of God, that is so true. Because hear him saying he's not bringing the sins of Ahab, because see, Ahab take off his clothes, he realize he has sinned. So he take off his clothes and he go before God in a sackcloth and ashes. So the Lord said, all right, since Ahab come to me, you see him humble himself before me? So me not gonna bother make the dogs eat him and the junker them eat him and in people them. Me I go save that for his sons. Una see that? Y'all remember when David, let me remind him here. So una remember how Shimei did stone David and cuss David and call David all kinds of dirty names. Una remember that? And una remember how Joab had betrayed David because Joab had gone with the accountants, how they had betrayed David. But David, he didn't want to sin in the sight of the Lord. He didn't want to be the one responsible for killing these people. So you remember when he was giving over the throne to his son Solomon? Intel Solomon say, your brother Adonijah. Remember Adonijah? Adonijah was David's son. And he was he was the one who had declared himself king. When David was sick, he thought David was going to die. No, David was very old. He declared himself king of Israel. Had a big feast, gather up much cow and goat and sheep and something. To have a big feast and declared himself to be king. That was Adonijah. And then David appointed Solomon and blessed Solomon. And you remember what he said to Solomon during the blessing ceremony? He told Solomon that he wanted him to carry out the revenge on Adonijah. He said he wanted him to be the one to carry out the revenge on Joab. He said he wanted him to be the one to carry out the revenge on Shimei. And for sure, Solomon did. All right? Andrea said, why didn't God intervene before this happened? So to stop all this drama of death. As we are reading, we also see where the God glorifies death as well, uses death as a punishment. Death is being used as a punishment. Slay the enemy. Anyone who tries to, upstir the kingdom, slay them, remove the threat completely. We have seen that throughout all the reading. Okay? All right. And here the Lord is saying he is not going to let Ahab pay for what he has done to Naboth, but he's going to allow Ahab's children to pay the price. Biblically, these days were built with fears and death. Exactly, Andrea. Exactly. And it is the same fear mongering that goes on even today. People are so afraid. They are afraid to sin, but yet they have to appreciate that we are all sinners. People are afraid of the death and the judgment. And I think this is what is holding a lot of people, mentally hostage. Yeah. But we are going to continue with chapter 22, which is in fact the last chapter of the book of First Kings. Okay? Give me 2 seconds there, guys. Let the music play. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I will be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. I am back, and we are going to be reading the final chapter of the book of First Kings. First Kings chapter 22. And they continued 3 years without war between Syria and Israel. And it came to pass in the third year that Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, came down to the king of Israel. And the king of Israel said unto his servants, Know ye that Ramoth in Gilead is ours, and we be still, and take it not out of the hand of the king of Syria? And he said unto Jehoshaphat, Wilt thou go with me to battle to Ramoth Gilead? And Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, I am as thou art, my people as thy people, my horses as thy horses. And Jehoshaphat said unto the king of Israel, Enquire, I pray thee, at the word of the Lord today. Then the king of Israel gathered the prophets together, about 400 men, and said unto them, Shall I go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And they said, Go up, for the Lord shall deliver it into the hand of the king. And Jehoshaphat said, Is there not here a prophet of the Lord, besides, that we might inquire of him? And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, There is yet one man, Micaiah, the son of Imlah, by whom we may inquire of the Lord. But I hate him, for he does not prophesy good concerning me, but evil. And Jehoshaphat said, Let not the king say so. Then the king of Israel called an officer and said, Hasten hither, Micaiah, the son of Imlah. For some reason, it looks like a I, it looks like a L, but I'm going to call it Imlah. And the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, sat each on his throne, having put on their robes, in a void place in the entrance of the gates of Samaria. And all of the prophets prophesied before them. And Zedekiah, the son of Shenaniah, made him horns of iron. And he said, Thus saith the Lord, With these shalt thou push the Syrians until thou have consumed them. And all the prophets prophesied so, saying, Go up to Ramoth Gilead and prosper, for the Lord shall deliver it into the king's hands. And the messenger that was gone to call Micaiah spake unto him, saying, Behold now, the words of the prophets declare good unto the king with one mouth. Let thy mouth, I pray thee, be like the word of one of them, and speak that which is good. So they didn't like Micaiah's prophecies, because his prophecies were not in favor of the king. So now the messengers are telling Micaiah that he needs to come down as well, and his prophecy better be like the other prophets. Let's hear what happened. Verse 14. And Micaiah said, As the Lord liveth, what the Lord said unto me, that will I speak. Hold on, the people. The phone here stop, because it is at the end of this playlist for Moffat. Let me see if there is another playlist that I have not watched it. Wait now, guys, because while me I talk to them, I have to spread the love, Hold on. Let me see. MWM challenges. Let me see if I watch this already. All right, make this one play. All right, there it is. Song Association. All right, make that one play there so the Moffat. Big up your nice clean self, Moffat. Big up yourself. See you there, so. All right. And my baby Queen Whitney is running right here, so, and we are reading right here, so. Okay, guys, remember, Queen Whitney needs to get to the promised land. She has bukus of subscribers, but no watch hours. So she hasn't reached the promised land yet. So I wanna help her out, please. Cause love is something if you give it away, you give it away, you give it away. Love is something if you give it away, it comes right back to you. It's just like a magic penny. You put it in your pocket and you haven't got any. If you spend it or give it away, it comes right back to you. All right, let's continue reading. First Kings chapter 22. This is the last chapter in the book we are reading. So here the messengers have gone to Micaiah, the prophet, for him to come down and let the king hear what he love. Love you give away, Joe. Love. If you love can't done, Joseph, it can't done. So here now Micaiah is saying to the messenger, don't tell me what I should say to the king, because it is not my own words that I am going to speak. It is whatever the Lord tell me, that's what I'm going to say. Verse 15. So he came to the king, and the king said unto him, Micaiah, shall we go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall we not? And he answered him and said, go and prosper, for the Lord shall deliver it into the hand of the king. Joseph, Joseph, me na look, that is just me. I do not look, and I am not looking to see who come back or if they come back. Cause trust me, if people not come back, me not care. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Me not look. It don't matter to me, because if they themselves don't come, somebody else will come. And if people who are content creators don't come back, people who are not content creators come. So it we out. It we out. You know what I mean? One bit. I love you, Josie. I love you. All right. Let's go on to verse 16. And the king said unto him, how many times shall I adjure thee that thou tell me nothing but that which is true in the name of the Lord? And he said, I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills as sheep that have no shepherd. And the Lord said, these have no master. Let them return every man to his house in peace. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, did I not tell thee that he would prophesy no good concerning me, but evil? And he said, hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on his manor, and another said on that manor. No, Joseph, Joseph is so practical. You can't help but love him. Joseph is so practical, but I mean, we get a, I get I get enough. To replace those that I didn't get. Yeah. So me not stress myself. Stress not thyself, and that's what my mama taught me. Blame it on her. Verse 21. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. And the Lord said unto him, Wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, Thou shalt persuade him, and prevail also. Go forth and do so. Now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Lord hath spoken evil concerning thee. What how this? How this? The Lord? You never know me that hear that in my life. The Lord had spoken evil. You don't hear that, people? I never know I would I hear this in my life. Verse 23 of 1 Kings chapter 22 says, The Lord hath spoken evil concerning thee. Yes, God, me shook, Ted. I am shook. Let me read that again. Because I want to understand. See, I make up nothing, At the Bible. At the Bible. Studies. At the Bible studies. Let's read again from verse 22. He said the Lord are going to put lie in the prophet their mouth. So the Lord are going to instruct them to be deceptive. To tell lie. Let me read this again. And the Lord said unto him, Wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all the prophets. And he said, Thou shalt persuade him, and prevail also. Go forth, and do so. Now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets. And the Lord hath spoken evil concerning thee. And this Lord is spelled with a capital L. So that is the Lord, not an earthly Lord. Because remember, we talked about this earlier in the live where I told you that whenever the Bible speaks of the Lord, and the Lord, that Lord is spelled with a common L, with a lowercase l, then it is an earthly Lord, like a king, a governor. But whenever it speaks of the heavenly Lord, the Lord of Lords, then it uses a capital L, an uppercase L. All right? Let us continue. Verse 24. But Zedekiah, the son of Ashenanah, went near. Zedekiah, the son, oh my God, the Bible dropped off on me. But Zedekiah, the son of Shenanah, went near and smote Micaiah under the cheek and said, Which way went the Spirit of the Lord from me to speak unto you? Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't know that that's in the Bible at all. So Zedekiah go up and him shot Micaiah about. And him say to Micaiah, Which way went the Spirit of the Lord from me to speak to you? How come the Lord leave from speaking to me and come now speaking to you? And Micaiah said, Behold, thou shalt see in that day when thou shalt go into an inner chamber to hide thyself. And the king of Israel said, take Micaiah and carry him back unto Ammon, the governor of the city, and to Joash, the king's son, and say, thus saith the king, put this fellow in the prison, and feed him with bread of affliction and with water of affliction until I come in peace. So now Zedekiah want to put Micaiah in in prison. Yes, yes, that's what he did, God. He shot him a box. Yes, Zedekiah shot Micaiah a box. And say, how come God a talk to you and not talk to me? Verse 28, and Micaiah said, if thou return at all in peace, the Lord hath not spoken by me. And he said, hearken, O people, every one of you, drop. He gave a Will Smith. Now you see where Will Smith got his inspiration. Oh Lord! Oh my God! Oh my Lord! Now you see where Will Smith got his inspiration from Zedekiah. Oh my word! Mm-mm-mm. Oh my. Let us see. Let us continue. Verse 26. And the king of Israel take Micaiah and carry him back into Ammon, the governor of the city, and to Joash the king's son, and say, thou said the king, put this fellow in the prison, and feed him with bread of affliction and with water of affliction, until I come in peace. And Micaiah said, if thou return at all in peace, the Lord hath not spoken by me. And he said, hearken, O people, every one of you. So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, went up to Ramoth Gilead. Now, they are going up there to go fight because the land up there belonged to Israel, but was seized over the years by those people. So them going back up there go fight for the land. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, I will disguise myself and enter into the battle, but put thou on thy robes. And the king of Israel disguised himself and went into the battle. But the king of Syria commanded his 32 captains that had rule over his chariots, saying, fight neither with small nor great, save only with the king of Israel. And it came to pass, when the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat, that they said, surely it is the king of Israel. And they turned aside to fight against him. And Jehoshaphat cried out. And it came to pass, when the captains of the chariots perceived that it was not the king of Israel, that they turned back from pursuing him. And a certain man drew a bow at the venture, and smote the king of Israel between the joints of the harness. Wherefore he said unto the driver of his chariot, turn thine hand, and carry me out of the host, for I am wounded. And the battle increased that day. And the king was stayed up in his chariot against the Syrians, and died at Gilead. And the blood ran out of the wound into the midst of the chariot. So wanna see how Ahab died? Wanna see how Ahab died? Ahab said, I'm gonna disguise himself, you know. And he's going to send Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat must wear a robe, must wear the king's robe. Going to the battle, and he is going to disguise himself. So when the people saw Jehoshaphat in the robe, they thought it was Ahab, because it is a priestly, like a kingly robe. So when they make after Jehoshaphat, they realize that, that's not the king. and somebody shot a bow with a bow and arrow, and it hit him. And him tell him to make him lay down in the chariot, and he lay there and he bled out and died. Okay, let us continue. What happened to the sound? YouTube ramp with the sound again? We don't know what happened to the sound again, Card. We're almost finished anyway. So the sound cut off. Did it come back now? Because whenever somebody calls me on the phone, it cuts off the sound. Tell me when the sound comes back. Because anytime the phone rings, the sound on the live goes out. But anyway, let us continue. So the king died and was brought to Samaria, and they buried the king in Samaria. It's back now. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. So they buried Ahab in Samaria. Verse 38. And one washed the chariot in the pool of Samaria, and the dogs licked up his blood, and they washed his armor, according unto the word of the Lord which he spake. Now the rest of the acts of Ahab, and all that he did, and the ivory house which he made, and all the cities that he built, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? So I guess when we start reading the book of Chronicles, we are going to hear all that happened to Ahab. So Ahab slept with his fathers, and Ahaziah, his son, reigned in his stead. And Jehoshaphat, the son of Asa, began to reign over Judah in the 4th year of Ahab, king of Israel. Jehoshaphat was 35 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 25 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Azubah, the daughter of Shilhi. Verse 43. And he walked in all the ways of Asa his father. He turned not aside from it, doing that which was right in the eyes of the Lord. Nevertheless, the high places were not taken away, for the people offered and burnt incense yet in the high places. And Jehoshaphat made peace with the king of Israel. Now, the rest of the acts of Jehoshaphat and his might that he shewed, and how he warred, and are they not written in the book of the Chronicles and the book of Israel, in the kings of Israel? So it seems like there is a lot for us to learn in the Chronicles, because quite often, as we have been reading the book of First Kings, they keep saying that all of this is written in the Chronicles. All of it is written in the Chronicles. P, what's up? What are you doing? They all did right in the sight of the Lord until they did evil. Yes. Yes. Verse 45. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoshaphat and his might that he shewed, and how he warred, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And the remnant of the Sodomites, which remained in the days of his father Asa, he took out of the land. Verse 46. And the remnants of the Sodomites, which remained in the days of his father Asa, he took out of the land. There was then no king in Edom, a deputy was king. Jehoshaphat made ships of Tarshish to go to Ophir for gold, but they went not, for the ships were broken at Ezion Geber. Then said Ahaziah, the son of Ahab, unto Jehoshaphat, Let my servants go with thy servants in the ships. But Jehoshaphat said, No. And Jehoshaphat slept with his fathers, and was buried with his fathers in the city of David, his father. And Jehoram, his son, reigned in his stead. Now you see why it was so absolutely important back then for each man to bring forth a son. You see why it was so important back then for each man to bring forth his son and to make sure he had a son before he left this earth, because the odds would be against him if he did not have a son to take over his kingdom after he passed away. Netta is here. Netta said, Good morning. I'm walking in with my finger up. Please, Netta, not easy. Netta tiptoe. You never see Sister Weezy coming into church? Oh, Netta, you give me a good laugh. You ever in church? I see Sister Weezy or Sister Clara coming in late, and them a tiptoe that their shoes don't make no punko. No. So they tiptoe coming into the church with their fingers up in reverence. Thank you, Netta. Netta, song service finish. Bible study finish. Song service finish. Bible study finish. And the benediction this go. You come in just in time for the benediction to continue. Exactly, Andrea. They had to continue the lineage. So that is why they had to have so many wives, because they had to make sure they had a boy. They had to make sure they had a boy. So here, Jehoshaphat died, and his son Jehoram reigned in his stead. Verse 51, and we are coming to the end of chapter 22, which is the last chapter of 1 Kings. Ahaziah, the son of Ahab, began to reign over Israel in Samaria the 70th year of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, and reigned 2 years over Israel. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, and walked in the way of his father, and in the way of his mother, and in the way of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. Remember, Jeroboam was one of those people who, he made Israel sin according to the Bible. Remember, he had his wife to be disguised to go to the prophet to ask the prophet what shall become of their son who was sick. And the prophet told the wife, God told the prophet that it was going to be Jeroboam's wife who was going to come to see him. And the prophet asked her, why do you come disguised? Why you disguise yourself for? I know it is you. But let me tell you something. When your feet enter back into the city, your son shall die. And so it was. Verse 52, and he did evil. That is Ahaziah, Ahab's son. He did evil in the sight of the Lord, and walked in the way of his father, and in the way of his mother, and in the way of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. Verse 53, and this is the last verse for this morning. For he served Baal and worshipped him and provoked to anger the Lord God of Israel according to all that his father had done. Here endeth the reading of 1 Kings chapter 22. And this is the end of this morning's reading, my friends. I hope you all enjoy the reading as much as I enjoyed the reading. The stories in the Bible are phenomenal. Phenomenal. These stories are, I tell you, it is worth the read. No matter how thick the Bible is and it's hundreds of chapters, it is worthwhile, I tell you, to read the Bible. When you are finished reading the Bible, believe me, you will have more questions than answers. But at the same time, you would have known. When you hear people grabbing a verse and throwing it at you and say, oh, the Bible said this and the Bible said that. Anybody ever tell you in the Bible say, I want the man name again called Zedekiah? Zedekiah? Anybody ever tell you who says Zedekiah shot Micaiah a box in the Bible? Anybody ever tell you that? I don't know how many of you knew that. Them things there happen in the Bible. The Bible is filled with so much violence. It is unbelievable. You know, so when people grab just one verse and throw it in your face, oh, Caesar, Caesar, blessed be the Lord. Exactly, blessed be the Lord. Amen. Okay, so has anybody ever told you that in the Bible, Zedekiah shot Micaiah a box? And this is in 1 Kings chapter 22 and verse 24. Anybody ever told you that the Lord told the prophets to lie? Maybe not. But anyway, the stories of the Bible continue, and we will continue to read them and share the readings with you all. We will continue, but remember too that women and daughters are very important, but are mentioned less in the Bible. They are the bearers of kings and princes. Amen, my sister. Amen, my sister. But in the Bible, they are treated like property. In this very same Bible, women and girls are treated like property. Until now, which woman, we have been reading since the book of Genesis, which woman has been declared queen? We are of the Queen of Sheba, but I know God appoint the Queen of Sheba are the people. The only judge that we have read, a female judge so far, was Deborah, that we read about in the book of Judges, I believe. But women are not mentioned, only men. So if you talk about the Bible, if you talk about being sexism, well, the Bible is a prime example where men, remember when we read the book on this foundation? Remember how that woman in that book, Queen Camilla, you're full of jokes. You are funny. But you all remember how all these kings are, even if the people were the ones who appoint them to be their king, if they were not anointed by God to be the king, then they weren't considered to be the king at all. So remember, Jehoshaphat, the people had appointed him to be king. But then the prophet had to make the agreement, sort of like a swearing in ceremony, to say, well, yes, he is the king. And it's all men, no queen, no women, no women. So when you ask, where did society get the idea to treat women like second-class citizens? You can't blame modern day man, because it is from the Bible. And if you're gonna put Old Testaments against New Testaments, in the New Testament, people say, why didn't Jesus have a female disciple? He didn't. So if he saw women as equals as men, then he would have had 6 females and 6 male disciples. But he did not. And that is one thing that as women we fight for, we move from. And you will see people, the hypocrisy of people who claim to be Christian, which is unbelievable. You will see people fighting tooth and nail as women to be included, to be, recognized, to be, because after all, we are humans and we are the same, and men have nothing on us. Why should men be considered to be the rulers? And and they will fight tooth and nail, because that part of the Bible is important to them. Make somebody else come up and start fighting for change because of laws that has been established because of writings that's in the Bible. And you hear them say, oh no, you no matter. But remember, all the laws of the land have biblical foundation. There are only some little modern day laws, but almost all the laws of the land have biblical foundations. Hold on, people, let me check in with my father, sir. I want to see my do. Smacks or facts. Smacks or facts. Being honest, I tuned on the live yesterday. I was like, let me get my Bible and read along before I start following. I tell you, I don't know when the last time I picked up my Bible before. Oh my God. You are so welcomed, my love. You are absolutely welcomed. You are absolutely welcome. Yes. We are doing this thing because we want to know what is in the Bible for ourselves. We want to know. I want to know. And I want to share it with you all because I know you all out there want to know too what is in the Bible. So when people pick up one verse and throw it at you and say the Bible say X, Y, Z, you can, oh, I remember that story. Let me go back and go read that story there again and refamiliarize myself with that story. But what am I telling me about this? And it wasn't the Lord, it wasn't God who spoke those words. It was just a man. It was a man talking to another man. So how does this have to do with me? And furthermore, that same man that was talking, he was a murderer. So he definitely wasn't talking to me. This doesn't pertain to me. So you can make your own discernment and your own judgment. It's about time we stop being like sheep, just being led. Just being led. Remember when we read the book, The Alchemist? Remember how Santiago said, all these sheep that he has, he said, sheep are so foolish. They just follow along with whatever. And he said, if I should start slaughtering all these sheep one by one, they would not realize that they are in danger until I have slaughtered almost all of them, until I'm just about on the last one. That's when they would realize that it's really I'm slaughtering them. That's how sheep are. And you ever wonder why the Bible call these followers sheep? Think about it. Because I have great thoughts. And I don't like reveal my convictions and stuff here because I don't want people to say, oh, Trev said this. And no, and me say it. That is why me I read it from the Bible for Uno. So that Uno and me can can get it straight from the source. From the source. So we know say, yeah, man, in the Bible. That's why I invite you all to read along with me in your book Bible or your Google Bible and take notes. Put a little dot there, put a little mark there, use a little sticker, something. And when you have time, you go back and you read it for yourself and say, okay, so this is what this is. This is what they were talking about. This is the context of this particular verse. Because there is no other book under the sun that you can just pick up and read one verse out of it and the entire book is understood and defined. No other book. So why you think the Bible, you must just pick it up and read one verse and run with the one verse and use the one verse to justify every single aspect of your life? No, man. Get smart. That's not what we're doing. We're reading the whole chapter. We're reading the whole book if we must, because we must get context for whatever it is that we are reading. All right, guys. Here we have come to the end of this morning's readings. I am so gracious. I am so filled with such gratitude for everybody who was coming into my channel. The explosion of subscribers and views. I am simply overwhelmed. I cannot appreciate you anymore. I appreciate you all so much. My appreciation box. Let me tell you all, I appreciate each and every one of you who have come into my channel, and I hope that we can continue to be together and continue to do great work on my channel. Thanks to everybody who came in. Last night we had what was her name again? Denaya. Guys, if you see Denaya around, please make sure you follow Denaya. There is Netta's Nest. Please make sure you show Netta's Nest some love. Card, our card channel again, Card Expedition. Make sure you are go over there and show Card some love. There is Mixing with the Muffats. Yes, Mixing with the Muffat was the first one to comment this morning. And for that, he is getting a 24-hour run. He is getting a 24-hour run on his playlist for being the first one. And we are trying to help the Queen Whitney. For those of you who are not connected with the Queen Whitney, go connect with my baby girl, the Queen Whitney. She needs to get to the promised land, but what hours are beat her left and right? So we are helping her out with watch hours. She has subscribers for days, like 18,000, but she don't have no watch hours. So we want her to get the watch hours to get over to the promised land so that she can, be monetized. So help her out there. And there's our sister Netta's Nest. She is on her way. If you can go over, share her videos and like them and subscribe to her channel and help her to grow. Also, Love Ice. Love Ice, our super chatter for today. Love Ice TV, Love Doctor TV, Queen Ice TV. Go ahead and support my dear sister there over on her channels. Go ahead and support her over there on her channels for me. Please share out her videos and keep the support and the love going. Remember, love is something, if you give it away, it comes right back to you. And oftentimes, it's not the person to whom you give love who loves you back, but nature, karma as a way of making sure the love gets back to you some way, somehow. All right. that is going to be the end of today's reading. My friends, I sincerely, sincerely, sincerely appreciate each and every one of you who came into the live. Pat and Andrea and Joseph and our super chatter, Love Doctor TV, and All Things Miss Priceless. Go check out my sister, All Things Miss Priceless. Share her videos and help her also to get to the promised land, my dear friends. Um, Joseph and the Moffats, P, and everybody else, Netta's Nest, and everybody else who came into the chat. And most importantly, the silent listeners, those who stay on the outside looking in but never say a word in the chat. Kudos to you. I sincerely, sincerely appreciate you. Keep coming. And I hope that one day you'll find it in your heart to kick off your shoes and come on into the house of Trevesense Unstoppable. Sit on the couch and read with us, sing with us, laugh with us, chat with us, cook with us, and celebrate with us. Talking about celebrating, later on today we are going to be having the 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 2K subscriber celebration. Now this is a horrid thing because I did not even plan for it. I just looked on my looked on my studio last night while I was on the live, and boom, I saw that I had 2,000. So I said, today I am going to have the celebration. Delay is danger. We're not going to delay the celebration. It's going to be today. I'm going to bake. We are going to cook. We are going to chat. We are going to laugh. Yeah. And we are going to celebrate. So come today, come later on this morning and celebrate with me as I celebrate my 2K subscriber count. All right, guys, that's going to be it from me for now. Until the next time, this is Trev from Trevessence, where your journey matters. Join us again later for the 2K celebration. Until then, have yourselves a great morning, everybody. And if you did not hit the like button coming in, please don't forget to hit it on your way out. Love is something if you give it away, you give it away, you give it away. Love is something if you give it away, it comes right back to you. It's just like a magic penny. You put it in your pocket and you haven't got any. If you spend it or give it away, it comes right back to you. Have a good day, everybody.